Shabbat Shalom. Our scripture reading for today is Psalms chapter 95, verses 1 through 3, 6 and 7. O come, let us sing unto Yahweh. Let us make a joyful noise to the rock of our salvation. Let us come before his presence with thanksgiving, and make a joyful noise unto him with psalms. For Yahweh is a great Elohim, and a great king above all gods. O come, let us worship and bow down. Let us kneel before Yahweh our Maker. For he is our Elohim, and we are the people of his pasture, and the sheep of his hand.
Shabbat Shalom, family. Our selection today, come, let us worship Yahweh.
Come, let us worship Yahweh in the beauty of holiness. Come, let us worship Yahweh in the
The oracles of the UCI. 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 7 through 11. But the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober, and watch unto prayer. And above all things have fervent love among yourselves, for love shall cover the multitude of sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. As every man has received the gift, even so minister the same one to another, as good stewards of the manifold grace of Elohim. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Elohim. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which Elohim gives, that Elohim in all things may be glorified through Yahshua the Mashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Ephesians chapter 4, verses 29 through chapter 5 and verse 4. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of Elohim, whereby you're sealed until the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be you kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim for Yahshua's sake has forgiven you. Be you therefore followers of Elohim, as their children, and walk in love, as the Mashiach also have loved us, and has given himself for us an offering and sacrifice to Elohim for a sweet-smelling savor. But fornication, and all uncleanness, or covetousness, let it not be once named among you as becomes saints. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather given of thanks. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 1 and 2. Keep your foot when you go to the house of Elohim, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with your mouth, and let not your heart be hasty to utter anything before Elohim. For Elohim is in heaven, and you upon earth, therefore let your words be few. Exodus chapter 23, verses 20 and 21. Behold, I send an angel before you, to keep you in the way, and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him, and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. Revelations chapter 3, verses 20 through 22. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcomes will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I have also overcame and am sat down with my Father in his throne. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches.
All right, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Which is peace on Yahweh's holy Sabbath day. Welcome to another holy convocation that Yahweh has enjoined unto us here in Stone Mountain, Georgia. We've always heard this thing that we can kind of live how we want to live, and then once we get to that last minute, as long as somebody said, forgive me, Jesus, on their last dying breath. I mean, they've spent 99 years and 99 minutes of pure hell. But if they get the last minute, the last, forgive me, Jesus, and now they're supposed to be, the pearly gates open wide because they had enough breath to ask for forgiveness for all that 99 years and 99 minutes of hell. And then they think that one, please forgive me, is going to make the gates, open up for them. And it is a shame how many people actually believe that. It is a shame, but this is how you build you a place where it busts open at the seams. You tell that kind of stuff and the people coming. You can't. You have to lock the door to keep them out. When you tell them that kind of stuff, that God ain't angry with you. He not mad. He gonna forgive you no matter what you do. You can do it how you wanna do, whatever you want to, who you want, as long as on your last dying breath. So then we walk around with a breath meter. So we trying to. Oh no, that ain't the last one. All right, so we can keep being hellions. Now once we think, oh wait, that one didn't feel right. I'm sorry. Now we want to jump out of there in that last half a second. See,
See, it takes somebody who done seen people on their deathbed, and I watch what they do. Every man is bold till you get on that table. Everybody, I watch people talk all that monkey stuff. I'm talking about, boy, they bold, boy. They got 4 chests. They saying it with the chest. Boy, when you get that call from that room, oh, it's totally different. All that barking you heard, when they call you in, meow. I said, meow. It's out there. Wait a minute. I heard a lion's roar before. You were so bold, you wasn't trying to repent or hear nothing. But when you feel that breath going away from you, and this is that thing that we don't ever count on. It never does occur to you that how you feel right now, you're not going to feel that way all your life. That it's going to come a point that something is going to change your mind about some things. And nothing like your mortality to do that for you. See? And then you have somebody who had to sit on that table, myself. But the question is, what kind of regrets do you have when you're sitting there? See, all that, I wish I would have cleaned this up with my brother, or I wish I would have done that. That wasn't my thought. No. I had them kind of problem. No. My thought was, I wish I'd have did more for my family. I wish I'd have done such and such and such and such. When they let me out, I couldn't even walk. I was falling all over the place, working at my house. They were like, why don't you sit down? I rest when I'm dead. I didn't get a second chance to come out here and sit on my behind. That ain't what he gave me a second chance for. And nobody know what's going to cross their mind till they get on that bed. So, this is the $1 million question. What is the acceptable time to repent? Do we wait until we get into trouble and then the trouble is so deep, now we want to have this conversation? You mean you didn't see any of that coming? You call yourself to be so smart. How you going to be intelligent and stupid at the same time? You boast about your intelligence. But you so smart you ain't see that coming? Okay. These are questions that we should ask ourselves. Why wait for another man to ask you that? You ask you that. What do you say? Judge yourself that you be not judged. Your harshest critic should be you. Let's begin today's sermon in Numbers chapter 13. And we're going to read from verse 17 to verse 33. Numbers 13. And we're going to begin at verse 17.
And Moshe sent them to spy out the land of Canaan, and said unto them, Get you up this way southward, and go up into the mountain, and see the land, what it is, and the people that dwell therein, whether they be strong or weak, few or many. And what the land is that they dwell in, whether it be good or bad, and what cities they be that they dwell in, whether in tents or in strongholds. And what the land is, whether it be fat or lean, whether there be wood therein or not. And be you of good courage, and bring of the fruit of the land.
And be you of good courage. Now, your courage should have already been helped by the past situations. I just brought you out of a place where the people believed that they were gods in the flesh. You had zero power. You were their slaves. So he doesn't just say, be of good courage, but he didn't give you anything to have courage about. Go ahead.
Now the time was the time of the first ripe grapes. So they went up and searched the land from the wilderness of Zin unto Rehob, as men come to Hamath. And they ascended by the south, and came unto Hebron, where Ahiman, Sheshai, and Talmai, the children of Anak were. Now, Hebron was built 7 years before Zoan in Egypt.
You know, there's certain things that you don't, sometimes you just read past. You got to understand, these are all what we would call Africans. These are all Hamites. So understand something, and what's connected to them. They said, man, these people so huge. Mm-hmm. So when people try to tell you, when they try to tell you the thing about Canaan land or Israel, they want to show you the whitest land you have ever seen. It's like a powder factory just blew up right before it, and everything is white. Everything. Yet, these are burnt black, tall as trees individuals who they running into. Now, come on. What? They about to have a draft now, and an African about to get in there, about 7'6". So when we look at this stuff, you let people tell you any old thing because you don't have any understanding, and you get sucked into their pomp and circumstance because they own this and they got this, and I don't care how much money they got. This word tell me that these are the sons of Anak. I back up in his history. I find Canaan, and I find all his brothers. All these names are Canaanites who are Hamites, and Hamites is burnt black. These are the people that they found in there when they went. Burnt black giants. They make big black look like little black. Go ahead.
You know, brother, they so on this whitewashing that they just recently did a movie with Cleopatra. Egyptians are up and roar because she's depicted as being black. What do you think they look like? They always want to be referred to as what? Olive colored. My brother Amir said what? Most olives I see is black olives. I don't see no green people running around up in there.
But you know what? But you know what's funny though? Even the sister that I seen a picture of it, and it's not like they got the darkest sister. Mm-hmm. So let's be honest, that sister is their complexion. They not upset about the complexion. They upset because it's one of us. Mm-hmm. They could have got one of them that same complexion. No, this ain't about it. See, what happened is you got to make people actually speak up about what they really angry about. No, this ain't about the complexion. You mad because it's one of us. Because, see, we come in all different complexions, which is why they call us colored. Mm-hmm. They can't figure out what color we are. That's why they said not the Africans. When you look in that dictionary, they said they're not the Africans. These people here, they different. Right. Go ahead.
And they came on to the brook of Eshcol, and cut down from thence a branch with one cluster of grapes, and they bare it between two upon a staff, and they brought up the pomegranates and of the figs.
Now you got to understand that this is what this is Canaan land, which is in Africa, which is Israel. You need to make sure that you draw that line continuously and understand the wealth of this. The grapes, one cluster, mm-hmm. that they got to bear them between two people mm-hmm. on a staff. So when a brother say, I was drinking some grape juice, he just squeezed one grape. Yeah, I had a bottle of grape juice. Where you get that bottle from? You saw me with that grape, right? Wait a minute, that grape? Like one grape gave you a bottle of grape juice? But hadn't they been trying to steal the resources from Africa from the beginning? And that's exactly what they're doing now. Yahweh showed you. I tell you where all the resources are, because it is the beginning place and everything split off of it. That is where the deepest concentration of resources are going to be. That's why you got all the nations fighting over that land, over that continent, because it is resource rich. Go ahead.
The place was called the brook Eshcol, because of the cluster of grapes which the children of Israel cut down from thence. And they returned from searching of the land after 40 days. And they went and came to Moshe and to Aaron and to all the congregation of the children of Israel unto the wilderness of Paran, to Kadesh, and brought back word unto them and unto all the congregation, and showed them the fruit of the land. And they told him and said, We came unto the land whither you sent us, and surely it flows with milk and honey, and this is the fruit of it. Nevertheless, the people be too strong that dwell in the land. And the cities were walled and very great. And moreover, we saw the children of Anak there.
Right, we saw giants. Go ahead.
The Amalekites dwell in the land of the south, and the Hittites, and the Jebusites, and the Amorites dwell in the mountains, and the Canaanites dwell by the sea, and by the coast of Jordan. And Caleb stilled the people before Moshe, and said, Let us go up at once, and possess it, for we are well able to overcome it. But the men that went up with him said, We be not able to go up against the people, for they are stronger than we. And they brought up an evil report of the land which they had searched unto the children of Israel, saying, The land through which we have gone to search it is a land that eats up the inhabitants thereof, and all the people that we saw in it are men of great stature.
So then, herein lies the importance of walking with people who share the same spirit as you. See, we don't really see the power in that. They all saw the same thing, but how did they perceive what they saw? One of them said, "This is amazing. The land is great. It's one of them saw great walls and say, man, this is gonna be a problem. The other one said, oh, this is gonna be amazing once we take it. They saw the same thing, but their brains operated differently. Their brains operated differently by what was in their heart, by what was in their spirit. So when you decide that you're going to travel and operate with people who do not have the same spirit as you do, you better beware. And when you know you're walking with somebody with a different spirit, you got to be even stronger in yours. Because least they sway you to be about what they are about. So you got to be even strong. When you know, you go, it's just like this. When I come home, I'm gonna take off my hat, I'm gonna take off my shoes, I'm at home. But when I go somewhere and I know I'm around my enemies, my mouth ain't opening as much, my shoes on, I'm ready at the drop of a dime. Move funny and you're gonna take some of it. Go ahead.
You know, brother, in verse 29, you keep talking about how they sell us back our own story. As I'm reading this, it says, the Amalekites dwell in the land of the south, and the Hittites and the Jebusites and the Amorites dwell in the mountains, and the Canaanites dwell by the sea and by the coast of Jordan. If you remember Black Panther, the first series, and they had it all divided up?
Right.
Verse 33.
But they have to sneak and tell us our story. Otherwise, it don't get published. You can't just go out and say, yeah, we found vibranium in Israel. You know, they'd be like, this movie's not going to make it. I don't know what happened. We looked at the budget. It looked good. We did the whole movie, and somehow the cinematography room blew up. I don't know what happened. Right. Go ahead.
And there we saw the giants, the sons of Anak, which come of the giants. And we were in our own sight as grasshoppers. And so we were in their sight.
Right. So then you have this thing. They both saw the same thing, but they perceived it in a different way depending on what was inside of them. So we have to be able to notice when individuals are around us and they working with a different spirit. Sometimes you can hear people and they heard the same class you heard, but they didn't hear none of that class that you heard. Yeah, you have to ask them, wasn't you just in there? Did you show up after the class? When did you show up? You mean you was that whole class? How are we having this conversation then? Right. People don't hear with their ears. They hear with their spirit. And if your spirit blocks certain things, you ain't never going to hear. Let's go to Numbers 14. Let's start at verse 20.
Verse 20. And Yahweh said, I have pardoned according to your word, but as truly as I live, all the earth shall be filled with the glory of Yah.
Uh-huh.
Because all those men which have seen my glory and my miracles.
See, look at what he's holding them accountable for. You have seen my glory and you have seen my miracles. Then you tested me. You telling me, no, they be too strong. Be too strong? I just brought down a man god in front of y'all face. I just walked you through water. You telling me you scared of some giants with grapes? Go ahead.
Which I did in Egypt and in the wilderness, and have tempted me now these 10 times, and have not hearkened to my voice. Surely they shall not see the land which I swear unto their fathers, neither shall any of them that provoke me see it. But my servant Caleb, because he had another spirit with him.
You see that? Not that he heard something, he had another spirit. See, he heard with his spirit, he didn't hear with his ears. So you have to ask yourself a question. Are you hearing with your ears or are you hearing with your spirit? See, itching ears desire to hear something new. Go ahead.
And has followed me fully. Him will I bring into the land whereinto he went, and his seed shall possess it. Now the Amalekites and the Canaanites dwelt in the valley. Tomorrow, turn you and get you into the wilderness by the way of the Red Sea.
Now Yahweh has let them know that he is upset about how they have operated. Okay, go ahead.
And Yahweh spake unto Moshe and unto Aaron, saying, How long shall I bear with this evil congregation, which murmur against me? I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel, which they murmur against me.
Right, and now most of those murmurings are against Moshe. All right, so people have to understand. They were murmuring against Moshe, but Moshe was led by Yahweh, so thus they are murmuring against Yahweh. But that's not how we see it. See, this is where we take bits and pieces of the word and use it out of context. Let Elohim be truth and every man a liar. So then we say, I ain't gonna listen to the man. Who you think Yahweh gonna use? A man. But that's the thing we use when we can't follow nothing. Those are people who require Yahweh himself to come and tell them. You know, I'm gonna wait till Yahweh tell me to get a baptism. And then when Yahweh say get a baptism, the water gonna automatically come from the flow. Right. Good luck on that. Go ahead.
Say unto them, As truly as I live, says Yahweh, as you have spoken in my ears, so will I do to you. Your carcasses shall fall in this wilderness, and all that were numbered of you, according to your whole number from 20 years old and upward, which have murmured against me.
20 years old, you a man. You claim to be a man, you're going to be held responsible for the stuff that came out of your mouth. See, we want to be man babies. See, we won't be a man until something happens, and then I'm a baby. No. No, you said it with your chest, didn't you? Now go ahead and take the responsibility that come along with that. Go ahead.
Doubtless you shall not come into the land, concerning which I swear to make you dwell therein, save Caleb the son of Yephani, and Joshua the son of Nun. But your little ones, which you said should be a prey.
Which you said should be a prey, all right? You claim that you dare to protect them. Guess what? Them the only ones I'm going to let in. The ones who you said was weak, they going to walk in, you not. Go ahead.
Them will I bring in, and they shall know the land which you have despised. But as for you, your carcasses, they shall fall in this wilderness, and your children shall wander in the wilderness 40 years, and bear your whoredoms, until your carcasses be wasted in the wilderness. After the number of the days in which you search the land, even 40 days, each day for a year, shall you bear your lawlessness, even 40 years, and you shall know my breach of promise.
So if we understand that Yahweh operates that way, there are certain situations that we get in, right? And it bothers us. And we get to that point where, you know, how long I'm going to have to go through this? Why don't you sit down and meditate and figure out how long you did that other thing? You ought to be able to figure out when you're going to finish. At some point, we ought to have that Texas Instrument going. Sock, what you doing? Trying to add up how long I got this hell. How you doing that? Because I remember the hell that I did. So, and this hell is a mirror image of that hell, so this hell is for that hell, so I'm adding up hell plus hell equals hell squared. See, see, but we act like we clueless, see, because we got that selective amnesia, that we don't remember any of the things we did, but we sure remember everything that happened to us, but we don't remember any of the things that we did. That's why you can't figure out the equation. See, to have the whole equation of you know, from beginning to end, you can't miss that variable. Say, well, you know what? This E is me. I'm not going to discuss that part. Well, how you going to ever get the equation? Because you can't be honest about this one variable in the equation. You ain't never going to get the equation right. It's going to always be off. Go ahead.
Verse 35. I, Yahweh, have said, I'll surely do it unto all this evil congregation that are gathered together against me. In this wilderness they shall be consumed, and there they shall die. And the men which Moshe sent to search the land, who returned and made all the congregation to murmur against him by bringing up a slander upon the land.
So then your words are now, you are held against them because the words that proceeded out of your mouth caused other people to waver. So when it says that you shall give an account for every idle word that proceeds out of your mouth, you have to then consider, what was the result of your words? Who had weakening of spirit because of your testimony? Go ahead.
Even those men that did bring up the evil report upon the land died by the plague before Yahweh. But Joshua the son of Nun and Caleb the son of Yephani, which were of the men that went to search the land, lived still. And Moshe told these things unto all the children of Israel, and the people mourned greatly. And they rose up early in the morning, and gat them up into the top of the mountain, saying, Lo, we be here, and will go up unto the place which Yahweh has promised, for we have sinned.
Now, here go Israel. See, this us. After we get a whooping, all of a sudden we remember the instructions. But see, the acceptable time of repentance was before you got the whipping. Now you got to go through that punishment. The punishment has already been uttered. You took it to, and this is us. You're going to take it all the way down to the wire. No matter how many times you get offered an opportunity to back up, you keep pushing. Then when he make you eat some of that gravel, now you want to back up. You could have backed up before that. Go ahead.
And Moshe said, Wherefore now do you transgress the commandment of Yahweh? But it shall not prosper. Go not up.
Go not up.
For Yahweh.
See, the way that you have operated has caused his spirit to remove from you. You can't follow the instruction now. You can't follow the instruction now because I ain't going to let you. See, once you sit in something so long, that indeed ends up being your judgment. No. Keep sitting there. No, you can't go. You didn't want to go up. Now I'm not going to let you go up. No, you don't get to just go up. You don't get to follow the instruction when you want to follow the instruction. Because if you follow the instruction when you want to follow the instruction, then you ain't following the instruction. You leading you. You go when you want to go. Father said, son, take out the trash. I'll take it out. I took it out Wednesday. Trash come on Tuesday, fool. What we gonna do with this? Man, we gotta sit here and stink all week? You ain't following instructions. Go ahead.
Go not up, for Yahweh is not among you, that you be not smitten before your enemies. For the Amalekites and the Canaanites are there before you, and you shall fall by the sword, because you are turned away from Yahweh, therefore Yahweh will not be with you. But they presumed to go up onto the hilltop. Nevertheless, the ark of the covenant of Yahweh and Moshe departed not out of the camp.
There are certain things that you should have been mindful of. Okay? But they presumed to go up into the hilltop. Nevertheless, the ark of the covenant of Yahweh and Moshe departed not out of the camp. See, some of us just ain't got common sense. In every other battle, you've seen the same things. But this one, after he done told you. See, there's certain levels of disobedience that might look like dedication. Do you understand that this looks like dedication if you're not looking with the right eyes? No, we're going to go. Yet, but two things is not going. The one whom Yahweh put his spirit on and the ark. You think you might want to rethink this situation. Go ahead.
Then the Amalekites came down, and the Canaanites which dwelt in the hill, and smote them, and discomfited them, even unto Hormah.
Right. So then they suffered this great loss because they didn't understand that Yahweh was the one who was performing the miracle to start with, and without him, we would perish. Let's go to Exodus chapter 4. But what you got to get out of that is what time we decided to follow his instruction. See, had we followed the instruction in the beginning, then this would have been a triumph. Because we waited to follow the instruction, it was a slaughter. And it was on our end. So it matters when you decide to follow the instruction. Exodus chapter 4. And I want to read verses 20 through 23.
Verse 20. And Moshe took up his wife and his sons and set them upon an ass. And he returned to the land of Egypt, and Moshe took the rod of Elohim in his hand. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, when you go to return into Egypt, see that you do all those wonders before Pharaoh, which I have put in your hand. But I will harden his heart, that he shall not let the people go.
So he's letting him know before the job even take place, I am going to harden his heart. So when you don't really consider this, you say, well, I mean, what kind of job is this Yahweh sending this man to do? You tell him to do something. But you also tell him that you're not going to let the man listen to him. Keep reading.
And you shall say unto Pharaoh, thus says Yahweh, Israel is my son, even my firstborn. And I say unto you, let my son go, that he may serve me. And if you refuse to let him go, behold, I will slay your son, even your firstborn.
So wait a minute. Yahweh letting him know the end before the beginning. He ain't started yet. So, Yahweh could have right off the rip killed all the firstborn of Egypt and let them go. All right, let them go. Get them out of here. But Yahweh said, no. No. Because he knows that people fake at repenting. See, when you watch a kid when he getting a whipping, he'll promise you the world. He promise you stuff he ain't even got. I'll give you the next door neighbor's car. Just stop hitting me. That's not your car. I promise I ain't never gonna do this again. I promise you just stop. Just put the switch down. Right. See, that's fake repenting. I'm going to repent because I want this punishment to stop. I want whatever that is that you're not letting me do, I want it to disappear right now. So we will then fake at repentance. I'll say whatever that is you need me to say to let me come back in, to let me do the stuff. Just let me have what we had before. Yahweh knows the hearts of men, that we will fake at repenting. So he says the beginning. He says the ending at the beginning but he does not let him skip to it. Let's go to Exodus chapter 7. So he tells him at chapter 4 what he going to do in the end. Exodus chapter 7, and we're going to read verses 1 through 13.
And Yahweh said unto Moshe, See, I have made you a god to Pharaoh, and Aaron your brother shall be your prophet. You shall speak all that I command you, and Aaron your brother shall speak unto Pharaoh, that he send the children of Israel out of his land. And I'll harden Pharaoh's heart, and multiply my signs and my wonders in the land of Egypt.
Wait a minute. I'm going to multiply. There's a purpose then that I won't let him repent. I'm going to multiply my signs. Why? Hey, man, he kept my people a long time. You don't get to just get one whip. You get one lashing, and all of a sudden you're going to let my people go? Oh, no. No, we're finna drag this whipping out. You're going to get more than one lashing. You've been ruling over them with rigor for a while. It ain't like you did one thing to them. You did a lot of things to them. So I'm not just going to let you go right in. No. We're finna stretch this thing out. Go ahead.
Even Moshe's position from the get-go, he said, I've made you a god to Pharaoh.
Mm-hmm.
Pharaoh's supposed to be a man god, right?
Right. Go ahead.
Verse 4. But Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you, that I may lay my hand upon Egypt and bring forth mine army and my people, the children of Israel, out of the land of Egypt by great judgment.
So he has a purpose with continually hardening his heart, because he already know the repentance is fake. He know the repentance is fake before it even comes. He's not going to recognize the power because of any goodness in him. He just wants the trouble to stop. And that's what happened when you get down with people. When they do things and you can look in their face and see how adamant they are at being against you. Then when the punishment comes, all of a sudden, here comes some humbleness. No, that's fake. Go ahead.
And the Egyptians shall know that I am Yahweh, when I stretch forth mine hand upon Egypt, and bring out the children of Israel from among them. And Moshe and Aaron did as Yahweh commanded them, so did they. And Moshe was 80 years old, and Aaron 83 years old, when they spake unto Pharaoh.
You know, this is a thing that we don't really consider. You got an 80 and 83-year-old man going before a man God, telling him, let my people go. Oh, man, you gonna get killed up in here? You crazy? I got these young soldiers, they got ear muscles. They have muscles all over the place. And you gonna bring your old self on here? Hey, that's some boldness right there. That you gonna let, these two old fellas go in here and talk to Pharaoh in an old kind of way. Go ahead.
By stretching out that punishment on Pharaoh, it also allowed the people around to see if he just did it right away and got rid of it. It's like, that was, we'll find some scientific reason of why he died. But as he stretched it out, the mixed multitude, the Egyptians,
everybody get to see
it.
Well, see, what do y'all think men be doing when they try to make the private apology after they done publicly pissed on a brother's name? Then they want to pull that brother, say, come here. No, further down, come here. Yeah. All right. No. But you publicly pissed on that man's name. Then guess what you owe that man? A public apology. What do y'all think? See, you have to learn how your God operate so that you understand how you supposed to operate. And if you don't, then when I get ready to do something, y'all say, Sock just harsh. You know what I'm saying? Sock could have just let that man apologize, and then that would have been it. And Sock gonna sit there and just parade that man around like that. Why does he do that? That's because you don't understand your God. Because you think that's Sock doing it. You don't understand. You don't even understand your own God. Talking about you worship Yahweh, you might want to learn Yahweh before you talk about how you worship him. You don't even understand him. You think the things that I'm doing that I came up with out of my own mind. Read the book and understand it. Then you might understand some of the things that end up happening. Why somebody show up and say, I'm going to make an appearance. And I said, You can't make no appearance here. Put your money back in your pocket. Go back where you came from. And people say, oh, that was harsh. That's because you don't understand your God. Go ahead.
And Yahweh spake unto Moshe and unto Aaron, saying, when Pharaoh shall speak unto you, saying, show a miracle for you, then you shall say unto Aaron, take your rod and cast it before Pharaoh, and it shall become a serpent. And Moshe and Aaron went in unto Pharaoh, and they did so as Yahweh had commanded. And Aaron cast his rod before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it became a serpent. Then Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers. Now the magicians of Egypt, they also did in like manner with their enchantments.
Exactly what you were saying. Okay, so they find a reason or a way to try to make this thing mimic what he did, and they say, oh, that ain't nothing. We can do that too. Go ahead.
For they cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents, but Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods. And he hardened Pharaoh's heart, that he hearkened not unto them, as Yahweh had said.
Right. So this little fake miracle that they were able to do helped harden Pharaoh's heart. So he ain't even at the point of wanting to repent at this point. Let's go to Exodus chapter 11.
And Yahweh said unto Moshe, yet will I bring one plague more upon Pharaoh and upon Egypt. Afterwards he will let you go hence. When he shall let you go, he shall surely thrust you out hence altogether.
Now he's speaking about this last great plague that he's going to do. Remember now, he spoke of the last plague first. But he didn't go there. It ain't like he figuring out as he go along, you know what I'm going to do? You know, I'm going to do some flies. I'm going to do some flies. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. No. He already know every last one of these things that he's going to do. He tells him the last one first. And I'm not going to let you repent until I take care of this business. You're going to learn today. See, that's how you have to deal with folks. You don't learn today. You don't learn today. Go ahead.
Speak now in the ears of the people, and let every man borrow of his neighbor, and every woman of her neighbor, jewels of silver and jewels of gold.
Now, you notice he didn't say go get those jewels right after the flies. Yahweh know when to tell you, all right, now go on and get this money. See, I've been warming them up. Just go to the bank and say, I'm here. All right? I know you've been waiting on me. I'm here. Now, give me as much as I can carry, and don't give me none of that paper. I need the real stuff. Yeah. Go ahead.
And Yahweh gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. Moreover, the man Moshe was very great in the land of Egypt, in the sight of Pharaoh's servants, and in the sight of the people.
So by dragging this thing out, he has shown Moshe's power. See, Yahweh has a purpose. Don't matter that you don't understand his purpose. Who the hell are we? Why do you need to understand his purpose for you to follow what he's telling you to do? If that's what you need, just move. Get out the way so somebody else can have that seat. Go ahead.
And Moshe said, thus says Yahweh, about midnight will I go out into the midst of Egypt. And all the firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sits upon his throne, even unto the firstborn of the maidservant that is behind the mill, and all the firstborn of beasts. And there shall be a great cry throughout all the land of Egypt, such as there was none like it, nor shall be like it any more. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue, against man or beast, that you may know how that Yahweh does put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel.
So at this point, Yahweh in the point making business. It's not just about rendering judgment. Oh, no. We're going to make a point with this judgment here. And with all the people of Egypt have benefited from Pharaoh's dealings. See, so you have even the people of America, they say, well, I ain't never owned slaves. Yeah, but you've been benefiting from them. That's why you can walk in the bank and just save money You ain't filled out no application. You understand it? Folks just walk in there and save money and they walk out with it. That's benefits from slavery. He said, no. All Egypt gonna feel this. Not just Pharaoh, because your people were elevated because of the work of my people. So they gotta feel it too. Go ahead.
And all these your servants shall come down unto me, and bow down themselves unto me, saying, Get you out, and all the people that follow you. And after that I will go out. And he went out from Pharaoh in a great anger. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you, that my wonders may be multiplied in the land of Egypt. And Moshe and Aaron did all these wonders before Pharaoh. And Yahweh hardened Pharaoh's heart, so that he would not let the children of Israel go out of his land.
All right, so when we get to this, before we even get to the other ones, we got to go one by one. Okay, plague number 1, water turned into blood. Now understand, now he already told him the end result before he started. See, so Yahweh let you know this is a concert and he the headliner. So the blood water is my opening act. You know what I'm saying? That's opening act. All right. Plague number 2, frogs. See, Yahweh just warming them up. See, this is what you call foreplay. See, Yahweh don't put on soft music. Light the candles. Oh yeah, he getting ready to dance. Plague number 3, gnats. He know your favorite song. He ain't put your favorite song on first. See that's how. See, you got to plan this thing out. See, you can't just come right in it. Blah, hey baby, I'm here. No. Slow it down a little bit. All right. Plague number 4, flies. You want something to drink? Okay. Plague number 5, livestock dead. He warming them up. But he told you what was going to happen in the end, in the beginning. But see, it matters how we get there. Now, I'm going to tell you where we're going. But check out how we're going to get there. Number 6, boils on man and beast. Now, it's affecting them internally. See, before, it's all this other stuff that bothers you outwardly. Boils are a problem on you. See, gnats and flies and frogs, this is bothersome. But it ain't coming from the inside of you. A boil comes from out and pops on you. So he's doing all of these things. Plague number 7, hail. So Yahweh is setting up this great thing. Now the 8th plague, locusts. Locusts will come and take over everything, all your vegetation, everything. They fly in. You had a garden when they flew from the right. When they get to the left, you can't remember where your garden was. This is warming up. Understand now? Ain't no Walmart. So when your garden gone, you got a serious situation happening. Okay? Now he sets up number 9, darkness all over the land. What'd he say? All right, I done warmed up this thing. Cut the lights off.
Yeah. Turn off
Cut the light off. Cut the light. Turn off the lights. Ow! He better take care of his business now. He about to take care of his business. He done warmed it up. He got the best drink. All right, now it's about to go down. Exodus chapter 12, and let's read verses 29 through 33.
Moshe say at midnight. Exodus chapter 12 and verse 29. And it came to pass that at midnight Yahweh smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt.
So he was like, no, let's wait. Don't rush this. Hold on. What you in a hurry for? Grasshopper, slow down. No. Taste the wine. Taste. You gulping it. You couldn't even possibly have tasted it. You got to drink that slower than that. Go ahead.
From the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his throne onto the firstborn of the captive that was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of cattle. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants and all the Egyptians. And there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house where there was not one dead. And he called for Moshe and Aaron by night and said, rise up and get you forth from among my people.
Get out. Now, he could have done that in the beginning because he said that's what he was going to do. See, so we have to learn from our Elohim in all things. You know, my Elohim teaches me. Even when I'm reading something else, about something else, he teaches me. He told you what he was going to do, but it still took a 9-step program before he got there. Go ahead.
Both you and all the children of Israel, and go, serve Yahweh, as you have said. Also take your flocks and your herds, as you have said, and be gone, and bless me also.
Right. Because at this point, you now know that the power of Elohim is on this man. But would he have known that if that one thing just happened and it was over like that? See? So you got to make people understand that fat meat greasy. They got to hold it in their hand and let it slip and fall to the floor. Man, that was greasy. Yeah, I tried to tell you that, but I need to let you hold it. So that you just understand just how greasy this is. Go ahead.
And the Egyptians were urgent upon the people that they might send them out of the land in haste. For they said, we be all dead men.
Now you get to the point. See, now it ain't just about Pharaoh. Now they have realized, hey man, we all dead. Get rid of these people. Now, people who are afraid to say things to Pharaoh is talking to him. Let these people go. It's important that we pay attention to how Yahweh did things. As he said, when I do the second time to recover the remnant of my people. Understand? So, he's going to have to do some things to encourage people. All right? Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 29. He's going to have to do some persuading. See?
Ezekiel chapter 29 and verse 1. In the 10th year, in the 9th month, in the 12th day of the month, the word of Yahweh came on to me, saying, Son of man, set your face against Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and prophesy against him and against all Egypt. Speak and say, Thus says the Adonai, Behold, I'm against you, Pharaoh, king of Egypt, the great dragon that lies in the midst of his rivers, which has said, My river is mine own, and I have made it for myself.
So we're talking about quite some time later. Yahweh's still dealing with Egypt. Go ahead.
But I'll put hooks in your jaws, and I'll cause the fish of your rivers to stick onto your scales, and I'll bring you up out of the midst of your rivers, and all the fish of your rivers shall stick onto your scales.
What you have to understand about when somebody got a hook in their jaws, they're being led, and they can't stop it now if they want to. So when you talk about the things that Yahweh did unto Pharaoh, he couldn't repent. So what happened is you go long enough into something and he put that hook in your jaw, you can't go nowhere but that. You can't turn from it if you wanted to now. Because he gave you too many opportunities and you decided that you wasn't going to take advantage of any of the opportunities that he gave you. Now he won't let you. This is our problem by trying to be, we strong, we some tough cookies. We going to keep on going. And then you go too far. Now you say, okay, you know what, now I'm going to step back. No, you're not. No, you're not. I'm not going to let you step back now. Go ahead.
and I'll leave you thrown into the wilderness, you and all the fish of your rivers. You shall fall upon the open fields. You shall not be brought together, nor gathered. I have given you for meat to the beasts of the field and to the fowls of the heaven. And all the inhabitants of Egypt shall know that I am Yahweh, because they have been a staff of reed to the house of Israel. When they took hold of you by your hand, you did break, and rend all their shoulder. And when they leaned upon you, you breaketh, and madeth all their loins to be at a stand. Therefore thus says the Adonai Yah, behold, I'll bring a sword upon you, and cut off man and beast out of you. And the land of Egypt shall be desolate and waste, and they shall know that I am Yahweh, because he had said, the river is mine, and I have made it. Behold, therefore I am against you, and against your rivers, and I'll make the land of Egypt utterly waste and desolate, from the tower of Sinai even unto the border of Ethiopia. No foot of man shall pass through it, nor foot of beast shall pass through it, neither shall it be inhabited 40 years. And I'll make the land of Egypt desolate in the midst of the countries that are desolate, and her cities among the cities that are laid waste shall be desolate 40 years. And I'll scatter the Egyptians among the nations, and will disperse them through the countries. Yet thus says the Adonai Yah, at the end of 40 years will I gather the Egyptians from the people, whether they were scattered, and I'll bring again the captivity of Egypt, and will cause them to return into the land of Pathros, into the land of their habitation, and they shall be there they shall be there a base kingdom.
A base kingdom. Go ahead.
It shall be the basest of the kingdoms, neither shall it exalt itself any more above the nations, for I'll diminish them, that they shall no more rule over the nations.
Right. Egypt is a place where you can go see artifacts. Wow, this is amazing how they built this. That's it. Once a place of man gods, full of things. Now, you look and say, man, how anything grow out all this sand? Huh? Well, you took everything. See, you ain't going to exalt yourself over the nations no more. And you can see just by the monuments how great it was. Go ahead.
So they got kicked out of their land too, and they ain't got the same thing other people claiming to be them.
Well, hey, what goes around comes around. What you have done unto other people is going to happen unto you. Go ahead.
And it shall be no more the confidence of the house of Israel, which bringeth their lawlessness to remembrance when they shall look after them. But they shall know that I am the Adonai Yahweh.
All right, let's go to Isaiah chapter 55. Isaiah chapter 55, and we're going to read verses 1 through 13.
Verse 1. Ho, everyone that thirsteth, come you to the waters, and he that has no money, come you, buy and eat. Yea, come, buy wine and milk without money and without price. Wherefore do you spend money for that which is not bread, and your labor for that which satisfies not? Hearken diligently unto me, and eat you that which is good, and let your soul delight itself in fatness. Incline your ear, and come unto me. Hear, and your soul shall live, and I'll make an everlasting covenant with you, even the sure mercies of Dawid. Behold, I've given him for a witness to the people, a leader and commander to the people. Behold, you shall call a nation that you knoweth not, and nations that knew not you shall run unto you because of Yahweh your Elohim, and for the Holy One of Israel, for he has glorified you. Seek you Yahweh while he may be found.
Seek you Yahweh while he may be found. See, our problem is we think we always had the opportunity. Oh, I'll do that later. What if your clock run out now? Seek you Yahweh while he may be found. We keep playing around because we think we got time. Go ahead.
call you upon him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts, and let him return unto Yahweh, and he will have mercy upon him, and to our Elohim, for he will abundantly pardon. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, says Yahweh. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. For as the rain comes down, and the snow from heaven, and returns not thither, but waters the earth, and makes it bring forth and bud, that it may give seed to the sower, and bread to the eater. So shall my word be that goes forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. For you shall go out with joy, and be led forth with peace. The mountains and the hills shall break forth before you into singing, and all the trees of the field shall clap their hands. Instead of them shall come up the fir tree.
Instead of the thorn.
Instead of the thorn, shall come up the fir tree, and instead of the briar shall come up the myrtle tree. And it shall be to Yahweh for a name, for an everlasting sign that shall not be cut off.
All right. So Yahweh urges, the children of Israel, you need to come to me in an acceptable time. See, you continually wait and pause, and you're gonna find yourself in a situation where you have to deal with more than you were supposed to deal with because of your pausing. See, this is that thing where people, I'm gonna wait on Yahweh. What you waiting on Yahweh for? You waiting on him to tell you something other than what he already told you? Let's go to Matthew chapter 5. Matthew chapter 5, and we're going to read verses 22 through 26.
But I say unto you, that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment.
Now, why would you be angry with your brother without a cause? Because obviously you believe that your brother has done something against you. Now, we all have situations. We all have things that we may, get off into. Now, the question is that a just disagreement that you have? Because, we were talking about this before, that Yahweh had the land of the slayer. So that if somebody accidentally slayed someone's family member, that their anger is so hot, Yahweh said the person who accidentally slayed him need to leave. You need to go stay somewhere else. Because he expected him. No, you really did something. No, he's just not going to talk about you bad. He going to kill you. You got to go live somewhere else. And that gives the opportunity for that anger to die down. But you got to go away from him. So we have to consider just what that means. Let's say you had a car accident and somebody died. According to this book, you got to go live somewhere else. Because them people who lost, they kinfolk. Come on out here. Come on out here. He said, no, you got to go somewhere else. See, we don't even consider that. See, we read certain things and we say, okay, well, these words. No, these are words when you got something to say and ain't nothing happened. But when something has happened, it's going to be a whole lot more than words. Person ain't just going to call you no fool because you ran over their kid. Oh, no, they coming to kill you. Go ahead.
And whosoever shall say to his brother, Reka, shall be in danger of the council. But whosoever shall say, you fool, shall be in danger of hellfire.
Now, depends on what he did. Your brother ain't did nothing. You got something to say about him. You don't put yourself in judgment. But if that brother has seriously done something, oh, you ain't got to worry about him saying fool. You got to worry about. Go ahead.
But you see, that's the whole thing that we don't see of this indoctrination, how they've got us so passive that we'll be the first ones to jump up.
Right.
Oh, we forgive you for what has been done.
Person ain't even went to court yet.
Right.
And they already forgiven him.
The whole mind screw of what they have done to us.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have the right to be angry. You can't tell me that I shouldn't be angry and I must just forget it. Even with our history, we keep hearing that about slavery.
Right.
Why don't you just forget it and move on? Nobody else has.
Tell that to the people of the Holocaust and all that. Go tell them to forget it and see how it work out for you.
Man.
But people will tell us in a minute, forget slavery, forget the raping of men, women, and children, boys and girls. Okay? So we'll read all of these things about the Catholics and all of these molestations that they had. If you think they had those then, what do you think they had when they owned the kids? Right. Don't fool yourself. But we supposed to just let all that go. But other people have remembrance festivals every year about what happened to them. But we've been tricked. Forget it. Let it go. Go ahead.
People on the continent just showed that, right? When they tried to get them to go against Russia. Them people say, no, Russia been helping us.
Right.
Y'all over here trying to get us to appease to this LGBTQ stuff. No,
Yep.
Russia's been trying to help us for years to stand on our own.
Yep. They said, when Russia and China come, we get weapons. They give us money. We share that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When America come over here, they just want us to agree to the gay agenda. Like that's the reason you go and visit a country. We just want to make sure that you don't bother none of the gays. You mean you flew all the way over here for that? We're not going to talk about none of these resources. We're just going to talk about gayness. This is what you flew over here for. You got to think, what does that make America look like to the rest of the countries? That this is what you're going to their country to discuss? Are you serious right now? Go ahead.
Verse 23. Therefore, if you bring your gift to the altar, and there remembers that your brother has aught against you, leave there your gift before the altar and go your way. First be reconciled to your brother, and then come and offer your gift. Agree with your adversary quickly.
Agree with your adversary quickly, which is something that we have a real problem doing, because it causes, it means that somebody has to humble themselves. And at a point, we're too busy trying to prove that we are either right or that we didn't do anything. So it pushes back that opportunity for us to agree with our adversary. Go ahead.
Agree with your adversary quickly while you are in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver you to the judge, and the judge deliver you to the officer, and you be cast into prison.
And you be cast into prison. Go ahead.
Verily I say unto you, you shall by no means come out thence till you have paid the uttermost farthing.
So, this is then put forth to the situations that we encounter. Not just that it is that we seek Yahweh at a time where he may be found. Seek your brother's repentance at a time where it may be found. Why you wait that long to have a conversation with your brother? Seek your brother. See, this is how Yahweh do. So we done read all of these things. It's about seeking Yahweh, repenting and Yahweh. Whoa. That don't just end with Yahweh. Your brother has become your adversary because of a situation that have happened between you and him. You have an opportunity to seek repentance with your brother. Why are you sitting on it? Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 25. See, we want to make everything. See, this is how we separate. Let the Yah be the truth and every man a lie. That means I ain't got to deal with man at all. I can just deal straight with Yahweh. You know what that does? That causes the wicked to say, I don't ever have to go and humble myself to my brother or my sister whom I've defrauded, whom I've lied on and lied to. That way I can just privately go to Yahweh, talk to Yahweh about the wrong that I did to this brother over here. No, the wrong that you did was to the brother on the third row. After you talk to Yahweh, you need to go talk to him. But see, this us. We're going to publicly crap on a brother, but privately try to apologize. And then we so cowardly, we won't even apologize to that brother. We'll apologize to the brother sitting next to the brother. If that ain't a coward, tell old boy, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I ain't got no problem with him like that. You know what I'm saying? Go on there, tell him what I said and holler back. Coward. You were beating on your chest when you ran off at your mouth. Beat off on your chest when you apologize. Go ahead, bro.
The problem with that private apology is that all the people that saw your behind publicly still have you under a magnifying glass.
You got it.
So you can go ahead and give the private apology.
Right. You still look like a public idiot. Because they saw you acting a monkey. They saw your whole monkey routine. Woo, woo, ah, ah. They saw the whole monkey. They saw you reach back there and throw the hotness like you see the monkeys at the zoo. They just grab, reach in the back and just throw that hotness. Private apology ain't gonna fix that. Them people saw you. You can try to come low key and sit in the back all you want. They still remember that hot you threw. And every time they see you, there go Mr. Hutch. They ain't gonna forget that. You gotta straighten that out. 1 Samuel chapter 25. Let's start that at verse 1.
And Samuel died, and all the Israelites were gathered together and lamented him, and buried him in his house at Ramah. And David arose and went down to the wilderness of Paran. And there was a man in Maon, whose possessions were in Carmel. And the man was very great, and he had 3,000 sheep and 1,000 goats, and he was sharing his sheep in Carmel. Now the name of the man was Nabal, and the name of his wife Abigail. And she was a woman of good understanding, and of a beautiful countenance. But the man was churlish and evil in his doings, and he was of the house of Caleb.
So he was rich, but he was a fool. And he had a good-looking woman who was wise. Go ahead.
Now, how many people gave him certain leeway because he was of the house of Caleb?
How many people gave him leeway because he was rich? You asketh the wrong question, my brother. Go ahead.
And David heard in the wilderness that Nabal did share his sheep. And David sent out 10 young men, and David said unto the young man, Get you up to Carmel, and go to Nabal, and greet him in my name. And thus shall you say to him that lives in prosperity, Peace.
You see that? You see that? Uh-huh. No. It wasn't because he was the house of Caleb. No, he had what mattered to them. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Peace be both to you, and peace be to your house, and peace be unto all that you have. And now I have heard that you have shearers. Now your shepherds which were with us, we hurt them not, neither was there aught missing unto them, all the while they were in Carmel. Ask your young men, and they will show you. Wherefore let the young men find favor in your eyes, for we come in a good day. Give, I pray you, whatsoever comes to your hand unto your servants, and to your son David. And when David's young men came, they spake to Nabal according to all those words in the name of David, and ceased. And Nabal answered David's servants, and said, Who is David? And who is the son of Jesse?
Not a good question. Not a good question. You got to understand, you know what I'm saying, when times ain't changed, it's the same thing. You meet a brother in Kroger parking lot, and that brother say, Who are you? No. He's asking about your authority. What what you think you can do to me. When he said, who is Dawid? No, he know who Dawid is. No, he asking that cross the line question. Go ahead.
There be many servants nowadays that break away every man from his master.
Now, so he sees this as Dawid is breaking away from Saul, so he's on Saul's side. Go ahead.
Shall I then take my bread and my water and my flesh that I have killed for my shearers and give it unto men whom I know not whence they be? So David's young men turned their way and went again and came and told him all those things. And David said unto his men, Gird you on every man his sword. And they girded on every man his sword. And David also girded on his sword. And there went up after David about 400 men, and 200 abode by the stuff. But one of the young men told Abigail, Nabal's wife, saying, Behold, David sent messengers out of the wilderness to salute our master, and he railed on them.
So this is what having a good servant, because now here comes the warning. Now, he don't go to Nabal, because as it say, his name mean fool. He got sense enough to know not to go to the rich fool. He's going to the wife of the rich fool. Go ahead.
But the men were very good unto us, and we were not hurt, neither missed we anything, as long as we were conversant with them, when we were in the fields. They were a wall unto us both by night and day, all the while we were with them, keeping the sheep. Now therefore know and consider what you will do, for evil is determined against our master and against all his household, for he is such a son of Belial that a man cannot speak to him.
So he done ran off at the mouth, and I'm telling you, that man coming. I'm telling you now, you can go ahead and put a date on it. I don't know if he coming Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but I'm telling you, he coming. You can go ahead and put a date on it. He finna take care of this thing. Now, tarry not. Seek you him while he may be found. Go ahead.
Then Abigail made haste and took 200 loaves and
You see that? See, even the servant know who to talk to. Old boy's a fool. You can't even talk to him. He went and, to have a conversation with somebody he know gonna take care of the business. Excuse me, ma'am. We're gonna be dead that time next week. I'm trying to told you. Go ahead.
Then Abigail made haste and took 200 loaves and 2 bottles of wine and 5 sheep ready dressed and 5 measures of parched corn and 100 clusters of raisins and 200 cakes of figs and laid them on asses.
She taking care of that business. Now see, what if he also had a woman that was as curlish as him? What you talking about? Well, what my husband said, that's what it is then, okay? He can run up if he want to, chitty bang bang. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, now then all of them die. You see? See, all of them die. See, this is how it matters what you decide to attach yourself to. See? Well, brother, want to get with an unrighteous woman just because how they operate in the world. Unrighteous woman get you killed right here. This is your death. She is saving his life for the moment. Go ahead.
And she said unto her servants, Go on before me. Behold, I come after you. But she told not her husband Nabal.
Another part of her intelligence. Go ahead.
And it was so, as she rode on the ass, that she came down by the covert of the hill, and behold, David and his men came down against her, and she met them.
Now imagine if she just sit there and wait. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sit here, I'm going to wait, and I'm going to pray that Yahweh deliver. Right. See, there's certain situations that you need to get off your behind and go take care of. While we praying for Yahweh to take care of some business. No, they on their way. Go ahead.
You know, because sometimes when you're in front of the situation, it's harder to want to back down. No, we already here. Let's make this happen.
Hey, and you can't, and it's also those situations when things are said, people can't unhear what they heard, and they can't unsee what they saw. And now, if he meets you there, understand, his anger is built up every step he take on the way to get to your house. When he get to your house, ain't no talking to him at that point. So she's taking care of the business that her husband would not. Go ahead.
Now David had said, surely in vain have I kept all that this fellow has in the wilderness, so that nothing was missed of all that pertained unto him, and he has requited me evil for good. So and more also do Elohim unto the enemies of David, if I leave at all that pertain to him by the morning light any that piss against the wall.
So the servant was saving his life too. Because the servant said, look, I piss against the wall. What the problem is? What the problem is? What the problem is? What the problem is? See, you need to know where you pee. You understand? See, he was saving himself too. Now look here, Abigail, I'm gonna need you to take care of this business now. You understand? I pee against the wall, right? He coming to get everybody. He ain't got time to figure out which one is y'all family and which one. No. Look, I saw these men. I'm trying to tell you, these is killers here. These killers. These ain't nothing to play with. Go ahead.
And when Abigail saw David, she hasted and lighted off the ass, and fell before David on her face, and bowed herself to the ground, and fell at his feet, and said, Upon me, my master, upon me let this lawlessness be. And let your handmaid, I pray you, speak in your audience, and hear the words of your handmaid.
Agree with your adversary quickly while you are in the way. She got out before the situation and took responsibility for things that she had not even done. She didn't do it. She humbled herself so that she can protect this house. Go ahead.
Let not your master, I pray you, regard this man of Belial, even Nabal. For as his name is, so is he. Nabal is his name, and folly is with him.
Mm-hmm.
But I, your handmaid, saw not the young men of my master, whom you did send.
I didn't see him. Yet my foolish husband saw him. I forget. Let this wickedness be on me. Go ahead.
Now therefore, my master, as Yahweh lives, and as your soul lives, seeing Yahweh has withholden you from coming to shed blood, and from avenging yourself with your own hand.
See, this kind of woman you want right here. See, she not just proactive in going and take care of this business. Then she know what words to come out of her mouth to diffuse the would-be king. Go ahead.
Now let your enemies and they that seek evil to my master be as Nabal. And now this blessing which your handmaid has brought unto my master, let it even be given unto the young men that follow my master. I pray you, forgive the trespass of your handmaid.
Once again, taking it unto herself. Go ahead.
For Yahweh will certainly make my master a sure house.
Now, you see that her and her husband has two different views. The husband believes that David is a man who just escaped away from Saul. The wife says, oh, you gonna be king. See, this is why Nabal was able to say the things against David, because he don't believe that David is that man. He don't believe that he's going to be anything. This is how Yahweh pulls out the hearts of men. See, he would have never said this if David was already king. Go ahead.
Because my master fights the battles of Yahweh, and evil has not been found in you all your days. Yet a man is risen to pursue you and to seek your soul, but the soul of my master shall be bound in the bundle of life with Yahweh your Elohim, and the souls of your enemies, them shall he sling out as out of the middle of a sling. And it shall come to pass, when Yahweh shall have done to my master according to all the good that he has spoken concerning you, and shall have appointed you ruler over Israel.
She prophesying, brother. Okay? Go ahead.
That this shall be no grief unto you, nor offense of heart unto my master, either that you have shed blood causelessly, or that my master has avenged himself. But when Yahweh shall have dealt well with my master, then remember your handmaid. And David said to Abigail, Blessed be Yahweh Elohim of Israel, which sent you this day to meet me. And blessed be your advice, and blessed be you.
Blessed be your advice. Go ahead.
Which have kept me this day from coming to shed blood, and from avenging myself with mine own hand.
Look at that. He recognized when she told him, you about to avenge yourself. King, you greater than this. Is that how your woman talk to you? Or she say, you better go get that thing and chitty bang bang. Go ahead.
For in every deed, as Yahweh Elohim of Israel lives, which has kept me back from hurting you, except you had hasted and came to meet me, surely there had not been left unto Nabal by the morning like any that piss against the wall.
You see that? That servant say, I know why I piss. If he get here, we dead. And he, being an intelligent servant, knew who could do the job. Say, if Nabal talk, we all dying. We don't let Nabal talk. Ain't no need us going to him. All right, he's such a man of Belial. Can't nobody even talk to him. But that wife of his, oh, she's a wise woman. Go ahead.
You know, even look at what Dawid said. Yahweh kept me back from hurting you, except you had hasted and come to meet me.
You see that? So the timing mattered then, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
If I met you at the house, you were gonna die. Go ahead.
So Dawid received of her hand that which she had brought him, and said unto her, Go up in peace to your house. See, I have hearkened to your voice, and have accepted your person. And Abigail came to Nabal, and behold, he held a feast in his house, like the feast of a king.
Right, now he just disrespected the king, but he having a feast in his house like a king, so he would have been drunk by the time Dawid got there, which he was going to be a real easy kill. Go ahead.
And Nabal's heart was merry within him, for he was very drunken. Wherefore she told him nothing, less or more, until the morning light.
Once again, another sign of her intelligence. Why have a conversation with a drunken fool? That conversation is fruitless. Go ahead.
But it came to pass in the morning, when the wine was gone out of Nabal, and his wife had told him these things, that his heart died within him, and he became as a stone. And it came to pass, about 10 days after, that Yahweh smote Nabal, that he died. And when Dawid heard that Nabal was dead, he said, Blessed be Yahweh, that has pleaded the cause of my reproach from the hand of Nabal, and has kept his servant from evil.
Now, how did he keep your servant from evil? He kept you from evil by having that woman come to you. So he already know what the deal is. Go ahead.
For Yahweh has returned the wickedness of Nabal upon his own head. And Dawid sent and communed with Abigail to take her to him to wife.
There you go. He already know, no, this is a different kind of woman. Yeah, she might be pretty, but this is above being pretty. This woman was able to talk down a king from taking care of some business that he was about to take care of. No, I gotta have this. Let's go to Luke chapter 12. See, this is where timing really does matter. But we follow that old thing. I'm gonna wait till I'm on my deathbed, and then I'm gonna make my confession. If she had waited, her deathbed was gonna be in about 34 minutes. Luke chapter 12, and let's read verses 49 through 59.
I am come to send fire on the earth. And what will I, if it be already kindled? But I have a baptism to be baptized with, and how am I straitened till it be accomplished? Suppose you that I am come to give peace on earth? I tell you, no, but rather division.
Right, because the word of truth cuts and divides. The word of truth doesn't bring people together. The word of truth divides, because light is supposed to be separated from darkness. So the word of truth does the job that it was designed to do. People say, well, you know, if you're doing something and it ain't bringing people together, something wrong with it. No, evil brings people together. People gather together at a party. Ain't nothing but debauchery going on there. Ain't no truth in that. So what does truth do? It causes separation. That's what it's supposed to do. Go ahead.
For from henceforth there shall be 5 in one house divided, 3 against 2, and 2 against 3.
Right. Because of the doctrine. See? Go ahead.
The father shall be divided against the son, and the son against the father, the mother against the daughter, and the daughter against the mother-in-law against her daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And he said also to the people, when you see a cloud rise out of the west, straightway you say, there comes a shower, and so it is. And when you see the south wind blow, you say, there will be heat, and it comes to pass. You hypocrites, you can discern the face of the sky and of the earth, but how is it that you do not discern this time?
Right. So then we can see the time for us to do natural things. Do you not see the time when spiritual things ought to be taken care of? Go ahead.
Yea, and why even of yourselves judge you not what is right? When you goeth with your adversary to the magistrate, as you are in the way, give diligence that you may be delivered from him, lest he hale you to the judge, and the judge deliver you to the officer, and the officer cast you into prison. I tell you, you shall not depart thence till you have paid the very last mite.
All right. So then we have to consider what was even said in the beginning part of this reading, that there is a holy separation that happened. Okay, when you deal with the situation of Nabal and Abigail, there was a holy separation there, because of that time. Abigail saved herself, which then caused that separation for her to then belong to Dawid. Let's go to Genesis chapter 13, because he says that I will cause father and son to be against one another. Now, people will tell you that, wait a minute now, that, why would there be any division between a father and son if the word is true and God is love? See, God is love. So why is there a separation? Because the word of truth separates spirits. That means that there's a different spirit between the son than what is there between the father. It's supposed to be a separation there. Go ahead, brother.
In verse 58, when it says, when you go with your adversary to the magistrate, as you're in the way, give diligence that you may be delivered from him.
Mm-hmm.
In a lot of court situations, you got that mediator.
Exactly.
And them idiots be, no, I got to go before the judge. This is them same people. No, I need to hear it from Yahweh. You might not like the sentence that you hear from Yahweh.
Exactly. And then ain't no undoing it. Once the judge, never mind, I'll do what my brother had said when we had talked in the hall. No, bro. No, we can't go back to that. That's gone. That's gone.
Missed opportunity.
No, that opportunity is gone. And that's what you find people want to do after they done dropped a load of crap on Yahweh's floor. Then they want to come back. Okay, well, can we talk? Now, we had a whole lot of time to talk when you was dropping that stuff on the floor. That was the time to talk. See, you missed a lot of opportunities. Let's go to Genesis chapter 13, and we're going to read verses 1 through 18.
And Abram went up out of Egypt, he and his wife and all that he had, and Lot with him into the south. And Abram was very rich in cattle, in silver, and in gold. And he went on his journeys from the south even to Bethel, onto the place where his tent had been at in the beginning, between Bethel and Ai, onto the place of the altar which he had made there at the first. And there Abram called on the name of Yah. And Lot also, which went with Abram, had flocks and herds and tents. And the land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together, for their substance was great, so that they could not dwell together.
So Yahweh has made this man rich just so he can separate him. And I'm going to tell you, if you pay attention, Yahweh do the same thing in your life. There's nothing that makes a person feel more justified in getting away from you than they got something going on. They get a little money, get a little car, get a little nice place to stay. They have no reason to talk to you. That's exactly what Yahweh wants. Yahweh has helped some of your enemies so they will stay the hell away from you. They think that they are achieving because that God is happy with them. They have achieved, because Yahweh won't, how much it take for you to stay the hell away from my servant? There you go. There you go. You know what? I'm going to give you a little extra. There you go. Now stay the hell away from him now. Stay the hell away from him. Don't go by there. Don't call. Don't say, if he call you, don't answer. All right? Just stay away. Matter of fact, he got a little something put in your savings. Put that in your savings. Oh, yeah. The earth and the fullness therein belongs to him. He need them people to stay out around you, because they ain't going to do nothing but cause you some problem. And he'll increase their life. You know what? There's a job down there in the warehouse. You know what? I think you would be good for a manager. What? You going to give me a manager? I'm going to give you a manager job. Now make sure you stay the hell away from my servant. Make sure you stay the hell away from him. Go ahead.
You know, a lot of us should think about how many friendships or situations have broken up over money. And I've had to learn that that's the cost or the price you had to pay to end that friendship.
You got it. There's some friendships that you really just ought to cash in right off the rip. Hey, Johnny, how you doing, brother? How much is it going to cost for you to leave me the hell alone? You know what I'm saying? I realize we've been friends for a while, and I realize that every time you around, nothing but hell enters my life. So I'd like to go ahead and cash in on this friendship. I want to go ahead and get this friendship out of the way. Don't ever come back over here. We good? All right, brother. Take it easy. Happy life. And go on about your business. Because all they do is bring turmoil when they show up. So Abraham is not strong enough to cash in a friendship. So Yahweh's doing it for him. Now the problem when Yahweh has to cash in a friendship that you are not strong enough to do, you don't really know how he's going to do it. Now understand, this friendship may be between a father and a son. Now that, you can't get no deeper than that. Yahweh might say, look, I don't need him around. He's going to cause you a problem with dealing with this. It might be between a mother and a daughter. Because sometimes we let other things pull us away from the focus that Yahweh wants us to be on. And you got to understand, between Abram and Lot is like his son. His daddy brought Lot. All of this is a journey that Yahweh wanted Abram to be on. Abram brought other people in his journey. This is what we do. Soon as he brings us the truth, we try to go find every bit of trash that we can find and invite that trash to the church. Now, why are we inviting the trash to the church? Let's go ahead and be honest. Because you want to feel comfortable when you at church. So you invite the trash to come with you. So if the trash is with you, then you justify your being at the church by the trash's being at the church. Right. You ain't fooling nobody. Go ahead.
Verse 7, and there was a strife between the herdmen of Abram's cattle and the herdmen of Lot's cattle. And the Canaanite and the Perizzite dwelt then in the land. And Abram said unto Lot, let there be no strife, I pray you, between me and you, and between my herdmen and your herdmen, for we be brethren. Is not the whole land before you? Separate yourself, I pray you, from me. If you will take the left hand, then I will go to the right. Or if you depart to the right hand, then I'll go to the left.
Right. He's giving him the opportunity to choose. This ain't even his journey. He ain't even supposed to be here. Yet we turn around and give them the opportunity to choose. Go ahead.
And Lot lifted up his eyes and beheld all the plain of Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere, before Yahweh destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, even as the garden of Yahweh, like the land of Egypt, as you cometh unto Zoar.
Right. So then he picked the best. He looked out what was the best land, and then he picked that. Go ahead.
Then Lot chose him all the plain of Jordan, and Lot journeyed east, and they separated themselves the one from the other. Abram dwelt in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelt in the cities of the plain, and pitched his tent toward Sodom. But the men of Sodom were wicked and sinners before Yahweh exceedingly.
Right. So he chose the land that looked the best, but inside it was wicked. We still making the same thing today. We see two women Boy, look at Keisha. Boy, on the outside, Keisha looks so good. But inside, she is inherently wicked. What do? Choose the land. That land look well watered. Right. But that land wicked. But you don't figure that out right away. See? You don't figure out right away that land wicked, and it's going to cause you some issues. Go ahead.
And Yahweh said unto Abram, after that Lot was separated from him, lift up now your eyes and look from the place where you are northward and southward and eastward and westward. For all the land which you see, to you will I give it, and to your seed forever.
But you see, he didn't do that until after a separation. You have to pay attention to what Yahweh does. Before he gets ready to move us forward, he made sure that there was some separation. No, y'all can't come. No, you gonna be a problem. He go ahead and he does his job. Now you have to ask yourself, do you turn around and second guess the job that Yahweh has done? He didn't talk to him about this land until after he had separated him. Now, Abram said out of his own mouth about this seed that he would have. You've given me this, but you've given me no seed. And this Eliezer or whoever this is, he will be my heir, just this person. Now, do you think he would have asked that if Lot was still living there? He would have had no need to even ask for a child. He would have had no reason to get Ishmael or Esaac because he would have given it all to Lot. And Yahweh never intended on Lot having it. So do you second guess the separation that he caused to happen by situation and circumstance? Right. Go ahead.
And I'll make your seed as the dust of the earth, so that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then shall your seed also be numbered. Arise, walk you through the land in the length of it and in the breadth of it, for I will give it unto you. Then Abraham removed his tent and came and dwelt in the plain of Mamre, which is in Hebron, and built there an altar unto Yahweh.
Right. What Yahweh has for you is for you. But we have a tendency to try to share that with other individuals who we love in our hearts, but they ain't worthy. They are not worthy of the gift that Yahweh is giving unto you. But we want to share it with everybody. And Yahweh decided, you're not strong enough to do this, I'm going to do it for you. I'm going to make a natural situation happen so that y'all separate. And as soon as that situation happened, now let me talk to you about this great land that I got for you. Timing is everything. Yahweh would not even give him this until that separation. So Yahweh timed it absolutely perfect according to his will. But let us hear the conclusion of this matter. Let's go to Psalms chapter 32. Psalms chapter 32. And we're going to read verses 1 through 11.
Verse 1. Blessed is he whose transgression is forgiven, whose sin is covered. Blessed is the man unto whom Yahweh imputes not lawlessness.
Right, because there's not one of us who has not sinned. But if Yahweh decides that he's not going to hold us accountable because he does not impute it unto us, now how does he do that? Then he causes us to work that off on another way. See, the problem is we don't understand that we got things on our account. That's why you have people who hardly work. They hadn't seen their rap sheet yet. Because, we forget our rap sheet, especially, when it's 20, 30 years ago. I forgot I did that. Yahweh did. See, if you saw your rap sheet, you would realize, oh, I ain't got time to sit down. He said, brother, no, man, we done. No, I got something else to do. Why? I know what my rap sheet look like. Go ahead.
And in whose spirit there is no guile. When I kept silence, My bones waxed old through my roaring all the day long. For day and night your hand was heavy upon me. My moisture is turned into the drought of summer. I acknowledge my sin unto you, and my lawlessness have I not hid.
I acknowledge my sin unto you, and my lawlessness have I not hid. Go ahead.
I said, I'll confess my transgressions unto Yahweh, and you forgave it the lawlessness of my sin. For this shall everyone that is godly pray unto you in a time when you may be found.
You shall pray unto him in a time when he may be found. Keep waiting, and you may miss the opportunity for him to hear your prayer. Keep waiting, and your prayer turns into sin. Go ahead.
Surely in the floods of great waters they shall not come near unto him. You are my hiding place. You shall preserve me from trouble. You shall compass me about with songs of deliverance. I will instruct you and teach you in the way which you shall go. I will guide you with mine eye. Be you not as the horse or as the mule, which have no understanding, whose mouth must be held in with bit and bridle, lest they come near unto you. Many sorrows shall be to the wicked, but he that trusts in Yahweh, mercy shall compass him about. Be glad in Yahweh, and rejoice, you righteous, and shout for joy, all you that are upright in heart.
All right. And as it says, verse 6, for this shall everyone that is godly pray unto you in a time when you may be found. This is not your deathbed confession. If you waiting until you get on your deathbed, you done already missed the time when he may be found. See, you have to seek Yahweh when he has something to gain out of your presence. What does he have to gain about your sick, old, flabby body on the deathbed? What you gonna do? How does it benefit him to get you off that? You are of no service to him. You have to seek him when you can actually bring something forth to his kingdom. He has a tendency to get rid of things that don't profit him. How can you profit him? You have given all your best time to the enemy, and then you want to give him the leftovers. See, all of us, especially men, we've encountered this, and I'm sure some women have too. There was some people in high school that wouldn't give you the time of day. 30 years later, they're trying to kick down your door. You want to go up? No. That land is greatly polluted. No, I'm not planting nothing over there. No, I won't even throw seeds I don't want over there. No. What good is that going to do now? This is what we offer Yahweh. Shall he accept it just because you offered it? Seek him in a time where he may be found, where you can actually add something unto his kingdom. Don't wait till you done use up all your energy and all your everything, then you want to call on him. That's all that we're going to do for today. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.